Welcome. Jump into the Compassionate Leaders Circle podcast, where leading with love isn't just nice, it's genius. I'm Laurel Donnellan.
And I'm Daryl Brown. We'll unpack business strategies infused with empathy and action, driving both profit and purpose. Our world is ever-changing, so discover how the savvy leader wears compassion as their power suit.
I am so happy today to have Rachael Marwood and Gar Grannell here with me. Gar is the founder and CEO of Mohawk Global, and Rachael is the director of marketing and also his amazing daughter. Gar was one of our honorees this year for the 2024 CLC Awards, and I've had the great honor of working with them over the last 4 years, so I'm excited to talk to you. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
So even though I've been working with you for 4 years, I'm still learning about supply chain and logistics, and I'm wondering, Rachael, if you can start us out with what does Mohawk Global do?
Absolutely. So Mohawk Global is a third-party logistics provider, and that means that we have a worldwide network of carriers and partners that allow us to facilitate the shipment of goods, both domestically and around the world. What makes Mohawk Global unique is that we're a team of supply chain solutions experts, and we specialize in tailoring end-to-end solutions that encompass transportation, also risk mitigation, customs brokerage, and so much more.
Rachael, can you tell us a little bit about your company and where you're located? I know you're based in Syracuse, New York, but tell us about the extension of that.
Absolutely. So our headquarters is in Syracuse, New York, but we have since grown to 9 other offices. However, we have employees across, everywhere globally, really, which is a really exciting opportunity for us and for our employees. So our coverage is extensive. We have offices from the East Coast all the way to LA, and we also have Mohawk Global Canada. So very excited to be, really a global enterprise at this point.
Yeah. And Gar, you have partners outside of the States and Canada as well. So tell me about that.
Yes, that's right. So we have a partnership in Germany and Italy. And there are 5 offices in each of those countries now. And this model has really proven to be a successful one. Our belief is that you take these trusting relationships that you have forged over the years, and you can take them to other countries. We find people that have the same values that we have in those countries, and we bring them in as local owners, so they have skin in the game. And we work with them to provide them with the resources that they need, and then we let them go and do their thing. And that model has proven very successful, to the point where we're now, the next step is to expand in Asia. So we are looking at growing into Vietnam, Thailand, and Malaysia as a next step. And looking forward to using that same partnership model there.
Exciting. So the other change that's happened this year is Gar is the founder, and you all had your 30th anniversary last year. And you shifted some ownership to Rachael, Joe, and Chris, your 2 sons and daughter. So talk to me about that shift from being a sole proprietor to now sharing ownership with your kids.
Sure. We held a family retreat last year, and thank you, Laurel, for the work that you did to prepare us for that. And it became very evident to me during that process, that time that we spent together, that I recalled what it felt like to become an owner in a company at age 28 when we started Mohawk, back in September of 1993. And I really felt at this retreat that the kids were all invested, cared as much about the company as I do. And I felt that it was appropriate to give them some ownership. I know what a motivator it was for me, and I knew that it would be a great motivator for them as well. And I'm not sure that they needed the ownership to feel that sense of investment, but it was something that I could do for them to show them how important it was for me to have them involved in the company and really have a vested interest in the success of the company. So I was very proud to be able to do that.
And Rachael, how has that shift been for you? It's just the beginning of it, but how are you doing with all that?
It does feel like it's just the beginning, right? There's so much to dig into. And we're just so excited and really humbled and honored. You know, we're stepping into work with an executive team that is so knowledgeable, and they have so much to share with us, and we have so much to learn. And I think it's just an incredible opportunity that we're excited for. I think I would echo that we wouldn't have needed the ownership to get motivated to take a bigger seat at the table, to be a part of the executive team. But you know, it's certainly an honor and something all three of us are really looking forward to stepping into together as a team. I'm going to coin your term, Laurel, a team of sibs. I'm going to end the kids, go with sibs.
Well, I happen to know all three sibs, and I'm very excited about all of you having a bigger voice. And I think it's good for Mohawk to have diversity in their ownership. So now we have a woman owner, and we have three younger people from a different generation.
I think that's
so
right.
It's very
Laurel.
exciting.
And I would just add, you know, I think there are lots of founders of companies that would love to have their children involved in the business. And I was very clear with the kids that it was not my plan for them to come into the company, that it would be available to them. And if it was something that they wanted to pursue, that would be wonderful. But I think what's most satisfying to me is that they desire to be at Mohawk. They desire to make a difference. And nothing makes you more proud as a father to have your kids involved in a business to really continue the legacy. So I love my kids. They know how much I love them. And now that this gives me a chance to share, you know, a wonderful company with a tremendous culture and have them play a part in making a difference and improving that culture even greater.
Well, it's fun for me as a consultant to be in the mix and to watch this. And I have worked with family-owned companies before, and I would say that you have a very unique situation in that your the sibs are very humble and very dedicated, and you've also created this wider family. So there is the Grannell family, but truly my experience of your company is you've pulled off creating a family atmosphere for everyone at the company, and that's very rare and unique. So why don't you talk to us about that and how you've been deliberate around culture and creating a family culture?
Sure. You know, Mohawk is an organization that enriches its people, both personally and professional. We want Mohawk to be a place of resources that enrich our people, and we want it to be a safe place that where our people can be themselves, to learn, grow, and heal. Our leaders use compassion in working with their people. And, you know, we're very intent on making sure that our leaders have a personal relationship with their team members. our leaders hold one-on-ones with their people. And one of the questions that we ask our leaders to ask their people is, at every one-on-one, how are you doing? And we want to know how they're doing, not just on a professional level, but also on a personal level. There are things that happen in life that can affect our mindset, it can affect our work, our productivity. And so we want Mohawk to be a place where our people can talk to their leaders about what's going on in their lives so that we can support them. And, mental health is something that's really important nowadays, coming off of a pandemic. We want to take the stigma away from mental illness, and make sure that people have a place, that being Mohawk, where they can come and feel safe and heal. And, we really work hard to provide, as I said, those resources. One of the resources is an online therapy resource that we started a couple of years ago after the pandemic. So our people can, go to this resource and find a therapist and get ongoing support from that therapist. And we've heard great feedback about the program. It's been very, very successful. And we also have maintained this hybrid workplace that came out of the pandemic. A lot of our competitors, particularly in our industry, have gone back to the office. They've required their people to come back. And I think that's true across many industries. And we really believe that, having that flexibility to work from home and the office and allowing our people to choose where they work from is a real stress reducer. It's a major, benefit I think people see in Mohawk. And it's something that is here to stay at Mohawk, and our people appreciate it. And we recognize, I think everyone in Mohawk recognizes that it takes, it's everyone's responsibility to keep a strong culture. So we have people who are coming to the office, spending time with each other, doing their part to keep the culture strong. And, we really believe that it takes a village to accomplish that, and our people are doing their part.
And I love that you're giving everyone a choice. Like for some people, being in the office is the right choice.
Yes.
For some people, being hybrid is the right choice. For working moms that may have a little baby in the background, like Rachael, spending more time near her baby is probably the right choice. So I love that you have choices. Rachael, talk to me about how this family culture and all these choices and these things that boost morale translate into customer service.
Absolutely. Well, I think that it's very similar to how, there's a lot of studies out there that say if you take care of yourself, you can better take care of others, right? And I think that it's the same sentiment. If our people feel comfortable, if they are in an environment where they know that they can learn and they can grow, they're going to do their best for our customers. They're going to go that extra mile. They're going to say, you've got something tricky, we're going to figure out how to solve it. I don't need an out-of-the-box solution. I can put something together to serve you best with what your needs are. And if our people are under a lot of stress or feel like they're not in a safe environment, they're not going to be able to do that for our customers. So we see how the culture has really created an environment that allows our people to show up best for our customers when they need us.
The other thing you have going for you is very, very, very low turnover.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which
We're
is
proud of that.
astounding for your industry and for the times, and should be something you're proud of. How does low turnover translate into better customer service?
So similar to what my father had said previously, that, there's no 1-800 number for Mohawk. There's also not, Susie on Monday and Brad on Wednesday, right? You know who's handling your account. And because our people stay with us, they stay with your account. And those relationships that are built and the trust that is built through the work that we do together as part of our customers, business partners, that stays. And it just creates a further relationship that allows us to get more involved and make a difference in the business, not just, let's get something from point A to point B. No, let's work on being your partner and find solutions that are best for you. And that's best done when you have a strong, trusting relationship.
And I've seen it because I got to visit all of your offices, many of your offices last year. Gar, anything else you want to say about your culture and how it translates into customer service?
No, I think Rachel said it very well. Our people care about each other. They know that the company, the owners of the company care personally about our people. And that, those trusting relationships transfer to our clients, and from there, we're able to build additional business with our clients because they understand that we're a company that they can trust with their business. So we might be handling one facet of their business one year, and after earning their trust, the next year we end up handling another facet of their business. And that's how we've been able to grow our business over 31 years. And many of the clients that we do business with today, we started doing business with 30 years ago. So these are long-lasting, trusting relationships.
Yeah. So having low turnover with clients is also very good for your sustainability. And I would also say, as an observer, logistics is a team sport. So having trust with your team members creates better service as well.
Correct.
So I know it's really important to you, Gar, personally, and for everyone in the company to give back to their communities. And you do a lot of that. Could you just talk to me about where that comes from and how that works in your company?
Yeah, as I said earlier, our culture is about enriching our people, and and when I say our people, I mean all of Mohawk stakeholders. So it's our suppliers, it's our clients, it's certainly our employees, but it's also our communities in which we live. And so we know that our people are passionate about certain causes and certain organizations, and we want to support our people in giving back to the community. We provide 8 hours a year to people to use as they see fit, to volunteer organizations that they, have a connection to. But then we have company-wide group volunteer opportunities where people can get together multiple times a month, typically. And the latest endeavor that we have undertaken is to address food deserts around the communities where we live. And we've identified opportunities to grow produce, help gardens harvest their produce. Of course, there's a lot of maintenance that goes along with that, including weeding and planting. And in Syracuse, we have our very own garden that we've grown. We own the land in Syracuse, so we were able to grow beans and cucumbers and tomatoes, and we're delivering hundreds of pounds of fresh produce to a local charity in downtown Syracuse. And we're very proud of that endeavor, and we'll be looking for other opportunities to support our people in the future.
I got to see those amazing, very prolific gardens a couple of weeks ago. I was very inspired by it. So Rachael, could you just explain it from like what happens inside your organization? Because I think every organization that has a parking lot should do this exact thing. So could you give us a little detail on how it works in
Absolutely.
Syracuse and beyond?
So in Syracuse, we were very fortunate that we have some multi-talented uh, people that can not only very efficiently work on supply chain, they can also very efficiently work on putting up a garden in a matter of days. It was fascinating. So we actually created these raised boxes to lay down the garden foundation. Um, there's actually irrigation systems set up, so we do water gardens, but we created them around the irrigation that already existed because it was already a parking lot that needed to have some nice green grass, that is typical in a parking lot. So we use that to our advantage. And then we have also planted some flowers and put up some very minimal fencing just to protect the plants. But it's really the fact that our people tend to that garden every single week. And that's why it's been able to grow. And then in our other locations, we've found community gardens that we're able to spend time volunteering at to tend to those gardens. And that's been a great opportunity in places where that hasn't been the focus, someplace like Atlanta, where it's much more urban and farmland is a little bit more scarce than, say, upstate New York. We've been able to find places that are supplying fresh produce, either at a massive discount or in the middle of a food desert where your only other options to buy produce would be, gas stations, convenience stores where your produce is extremely limited.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful project for giving back, for team building, and also encouraging health. There's really beautiful. I think I saw beans, cucumbers, and tomatoes. Is that what I saw?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
In your
And
very professional, beautiful garden. So,
in addition to providing that produce, in Syracuse particularly, and we're looking to do this elsewhere, we actually are providing recipe cards. So if you get a tomato and you're not quite sure what to do with it, we've provided a recipe card for a salad or a sandwich, just to along those lines of inspiring healthy eating, instead of just getting some produce and not knowing what to do with it. We're trying to spark some ideas. So we hope that that's
Yeah.
also helpful.
well, you could see and feel the love, and it's a very beautiful mirror of what happens in your organization, which is very special and all about love. What are you most looking forward to in the future at Mohawk?
Continuing this legacy of enrichment and loving our people as we continue to grow our footprint. That becomes challenging as we, add space between offices and we add more people, making sure that everyone that comes into the organization feels loved and feels enriched. And, it starts with hiring the right people that share our values and our vision. So we put a lot of emphasis on making sure that we're bringing on really people who are going to contribute to our culture. We train them, we invest in them, and they become part of the Mohawk family. And watching that continue to grow and evolve is just one of the most rewarding things that I've experienced in my life, and I just look forward to seeing that continue under the leadership of the kids.
Rachel, how about you? What are you looking forward to?
I would have to say our growth. One of the very, echoing my dad's sentiments, I think that it's incredible to see how cultures grow as our company grows, but even just the fact that I can go to our Newark office and get a taste of more of a city life. We talk about commutes, we talk about, all sorts of things. And then I can go out to Chicago and, get a pizza that doesn't fold, as my New Yorker heart just doesn't understand. But being able to experience our people's communities is an amazing opportunity to just build a stronger culture. So I can't wait to see, where we go next, right? What city's next? Let's keep building. It's so exciting to be a part of something that's growing so quickly.
So while I have a couple of compassionate leaders here, I'd like you to share some lessons with our listeners about life. Let's start with life. What is the life lesson you want to share, Gar, with our listeners today?
I would say it's to, avoid toxic relationships. I think life is short, and sometimes we try to justify maintaining a relationship with someone, and this goes for our personal and professional life. But the long-term damage can be immeasurable. And loving, caring, trusting relationships are really what makes life fulfilling. So, what I learned is that it's just so important to surround yourself with those people that do love you and do care, and want to support you, want to encourage you, are there when things get difficult. Everyone goes through a crisis at some point in their life, and you want to be able to trust someone to support you. And so I would say that that's probably the most important life lesson that I've learned.
Rachael?
I think the importance of listening is something I've learned over a long period of time. And yes, that goes professionally, right? Making sure that you're learning from your surroundings, your environment, but also personally. There's so much that you can learn by asking one question and listening. And I think that in this world of fast-paced comments and likes, it's easy to just breeze by instead of really listening to people these days. So that would be mine.
Yeah, listening brings civility too, which the world needs. And leadership lessons. What compassionate leadership lessons do you have for us today, Gar?
We often talk about how important compassion and everything that goes along with being a compassionate leader, which is being a good listener, as Rachael said, having empathy, not just sympathy. But I would say that one of the sort of unspoken skills that good leaders need to have is patience. Understanding that people process information differently, they learn differently, they make decisions differently. And as leaders, we often want to, react, that knee-jerk reaction to fix things, to act. But sometimes the best thing that you can do as a leader is just pause and give people time and be there for them, support them, let them know that you love them, and that you're going to be patient and let things evolve, let them go through the process that they need to go through. And I think that's when you get the best outcome. And so it's something that I really work at practicing every day.
I think that's beautiful. I think patience is so underrated. And it's an inside job. And I do believe that you have to practice patience, whether in the grocery store or in an executive meeting or with your kid. Like, patience is a good thing every day, all day. So, Rachael, how about you? What do you have for us?
I think for me, and I'm still learning, would be that there are so many opportunities that can be looked at as a learning opportunity. So, I look back on my career, even outside of Mohawk, and look at how many things I can now say were a good lesson. And moving forward, to be able to say, this is getting a little tricky. Let me take a step back and look at this from an outside perspective and as an opportunity to learn something, whether that's about someone or something or a company, being able to say, this is an opportunity for me to learn. I think it's just a different perspective that can be extremely helpful and 10 times more productive.
Well said. And we're never done learning, even if we want to be. Gar and I have been talking about AI recently, and I said, saying that you don't want to learn about AI is like me, 30 years ago saying, I'm never going to use an ATM machine. So we're never done learning, and the sooner we can learn that as an executive, the better. Gar, one of the really unusual things about Mohawk Global that I'm still astounded by because it's so rare is that you have a no layoff policy. Could you talk to me about that?
Yeah, when we talk about building trust and having making Mohawk a safe place for our people, to me, there is no better way to demonstrate that and to build trust with our people than to have a no layoff policy. And it's so easy to say you have a no layoff policy when business is booming, right? When things are good. We had huge years after the pandemic, where supply chains, there were bottlenecks everywhere and everything had to move quickly. And we had to work with all of our ocean carriers and air carriers to expedite product. And business was very strong. And then in 2023, demand dropped off. Inventories were at a high level. And so companies stopped shipping for a period or reduced shipping for quite a period of time, most of 2023. And our no layoff policy held. I mean, it was, I think, something that our people were concerned about during this difficult time, much like what we did during the pandemic. We went through a difficult time during the pandemic, and not one person got laid off during that period of time. And in 2023, when business dropped off, we also held true to that commitment. And I think that sends a very, very strong message to our people that we care about them, we love them, and that we want them to not worry about whether they were going to, be able to make a living or not.
Well, it's really admirable, and I've been close enough to you to know that it's not always easy.
Oh.
But I can see in your people how much it means to them, and that they can really relax and feel like part of a family. I have a family business in part. I hire my nieces and nephews, and I always tell them, you can quit, but I'm not going to fire you. Because I want you guys talking to me in the future.
That's right. Very important.
I don't want to be at a family party and say, Aunt Laurel fired me. So that's my version of a no layoff policy. So if our listeners are interested in your services or interested in learning about your Give Back Garden, how do we get in touch with you?
I'll let our chief marketing person answer that question.
So our website is mohawkglobal.com, and you can also find us on LinkedIn. We are also on Facebook, Twitter, dabbling in Threads. So find us wherever you'd like and reach out, and we're happy to start a conversation anytime.
Thank you so much, both of you, for being with me today. It's been a great pleasure, as always.
Thank you, Laurel. This is fun.
And that's a heart-wrapped episode of the Compassionate Leader Circle podcast. May your compass always point to kindness.
As you navigate the world, let compassion be your North Star. Join us next time as we continue to redefine success, one heart-led decision at a time.
Lead wisely, lead with heart. You can learn more about us at compassionateleadercircle.com.